Welcome everyone to this new episode, with the fourth round of this battle that took place in February 1945, where the Japanese forces commanded by Rear Admiral Iwabuchi Sanji have dug in and promised to fight to the last man, causing as many casualties as possible to the enemy. In this fourth round, the American units progressively approach their objectives while the Japanese units quickly lose their manpower and firepower in an unequal fight. Rally phase of the American phase of the fourth round. Wind change 5, and there is not a change in the wind. Attempt to auto-rally by the American unit near the mortar with the modifier of +1 auto-rally. 9 + 1, 10, the unit does not recover morale. Attempt to recover morale by the American unit at G69 with the modifier of -1, building. 3 - 1, 2, the squad recovers morale. At this point, Jim thinks about passing possession of the leader's machine gun to Squad 666, who has just recovered morale. In the reading of the rules, this cannot be done at this time, since this change of possession must occur at a time prior to the morale test in the rally phase, and we will leave this for another time. Prep fire phase. Huff Squad with the flamethrower at Y70 attacks the Japanese forces at Y69 with 24 firepower without modifiers. 10. 1 morale check. 12. The first Japanese squad breaks above the ELR, which causes its reduction to Huff Squad, followed by its elimination by the result of 12 on the dice. 9 + 1, 10. The second unit also breaks above the ELR and, because it is conscripted, becomes a Huff Squad with broken morale. Firing from the leader stack 9 - 1, accompanied by the Huff Squad carrying the heavy machine gun against the Japanese squad at Z68 with 8 firepower -1, leader. 9 - 1, 8, normal morale check with loss of rate of fire machine gun. 5, the Japanese squad passes. Movement phase. I-64 to G65 bypassing H-65 and I-65. Stacking from I-68 to H-68. Squad with the demolition charge at E-72 moves under the trench at E-70. Huff Squad with the mortar at C-75 abandons the mortar and move to B-72. Squad 666 at Z-70 removes the CX marker and moves in assault movement to a 69. Leader 70 abandons the flamethrower and moves to G-72. In this movement he will be accompanied by Squad 666 with the flamethrower. In this hex it suffers an attack by the Japanese stack at E-67 with 6 firepower +1, debris -1, FFNAM. 2, 3, 5, 1 morale check for the leader and 2 morale checks for the squad carrying the flamethrower, modifier of -1 in the result of the shot, and the medium machine gun maintains the rate of fire. 9 + 1, 10, the leader's morale is broken. 5 + 2, 7, the squad's morale is broken with the possible activation of the Japanese sniper. 1. The major Japanese sniper is activated. 4, 5, the sniper will attack the American Huff Squad with the broken morale in I-70, which is eliminated. New shot using the rate of fire of the medium machine gun with 6 firepower without modifiers. 4, 2, 6. Normal morale check for the American leader and 1 morale check for the squad with the flamethrower, and the machine gun loses its rate of fire. Unfortunately, Jim does not apply the due morale checks. Squad 666 in G69 will try to gain possession of the recently abandoned flamethrower, requiring 5 or less for this to occur. 5. The flamethrower is recovered with the expenditure of 1 movement factor. This squad moves under the shell hole marker in G68 using assault movement. At this point it will suffer an attack by the Japanese stack INI 67, which will use subsequent first fire with 4 firepower -1, leader, +1, shell hole. 7. Pin test check, which is turned into a normal morale check by the flamethrower factor. 6. The American squad should have become pinned. A 70 to a 69. G64 to G63. F63 to F62. Defensive fire phase. Firing with the heavy machine gun on the church steeple in F64 on the Americans in H68. This attack will be carried out with 6 firepower -1, leader, +2, wooden house. To +1, 3. It is a casualty reduction of one of the units to be chosen randomly, followed by 2 morale check. The machine gun maintains the rate of fire. The choice of the casualty reduction falls on Squad 546, which is reduced to 236. Let's check the morale. Seven plus 2, 9. The leader's morale is broken. 11 plus 2, 13. The half squad breaks above the ELR and becomes a second-class half squad 336. 8 plus 2, 10. The second half squad has its morale broken. 12. The third squad is eliminated with an excellent result for the Japanese, who still maintain the machine gun's rate of fire. The Japanese will take advantage of the maintenance of the rate of fire and fire a shot with 6 firepower without modifiers on the half squad in G65. 1, 5, 6, -1, 5, 1 morale check and rate of fire maintained. 7 plus 1, 8, half squad's morale is broken. Using rate of fire maintenance, a new shot is fired now on the American squad with the flamethrower in G68 with 6 firepower -1, Japanese leader, +1, shell hole. 4, 3, 7. Normal morale check that is reduced to 1 morale check by possession of the flamethrower. The machine gun finally loses rate of fire. 10 plus 1, 11, and the squad breaks above the ELR and should become a second line 5-4-6 squad. Advancing fire phase. Fire from the 2 American squads in a 69 on the Japanese in an adjacent hex, with each squad having 6 firepower, reduced to 3, advancing fire, raised to 4, assault fire, for a total of 8 firepower doubled to 16, point blank fire, +3, stone house. 8 plus 3, 11. Pin test check. 7. The squad passes. Jim thinks about firing the bazooka at the Japanese, but with the modifiers involved they are excessive, namely, +2 per shot in the advancing fire phase, +2, to avoid backblast, +3, stone house, needing to hit the target. This associated with the chance of activating the Japanese sniper and breaking the bazooka, this shot will not occur. Squad 666 fires in G63 at the Japanese in the church steeple with 4 firepower +2, wooden house, -2, leader. 7. Pin test check. 2. The leader passes. 5. The crew also passes. Let's evaluate the possibility of progression of the fires. Progression from H72 towards G71 with the base number of 9, mixed building with the lower floor made of stone, with the modifier of -2, non-contiguous structure. 6 -2, 4, no progression. Progression from Y65 to X65 requiring 9 with the +2 modifier, non-contiguous structure. 7 -2, 5, no progression. Progression from Z64 to a 63 with the base number of 7 and the +2 modifier, non-contiguous structure. Progression from flame to fire in hex L61 requiring 7 or more for event to occur. 5. No progression. Route phase. G65 to G63. G68 to H68. G72 to K72. Y69 to X67. Advance phase. A 69 to a 68 entering close combat. Y70 to Y69. E72 under the trench in D70. Lower floor to middle floor of E64. Close combat phase. Ambush assessment in a 68. Americans have no modifiers for ambush. Japanese will have the -2 modifier, concealment, +1, CX. Americans 2. Japanese 6 -1, 5. Americans carry out the ambush. Americans will attack with a force of 12 against 3 for the Japanese, a ratio of 4 to 1 with a need for 8 or less to affect the Japanese. The modifiers will be -1, ambush, -1, CX. 8 -2, 6, the Japanese squad is eliminated. Since the ambush occurred, the Japanese will not be able to fire. We finished this phase by eliminating the pin markers and checking the recovery of the concealment marker by the units, and we go to the rally phase. Japanese 4th turn. Wind change 6, no wind change. Japanese half squad auto-rally attempt at X65 with modifiers of +1, auto-rally, +4, de-aim, -1, building. 6 +4, 10, unsuccessful. American squad rally attempt at G63 with modifiers of +4, de-aim, -1, building, -2, leader. 6 plus 1, 7. This squad should have recovered morale. This will be fixed next turn. American leader rally attempt at I-70 with modifiers of plus 1, auto rally, plus 4, DAIM, minus 1, building. 6 plus 4, 10. Leader does not recover morale. American leader auto rally attempt at K-72 with modifier of plus 4. 8 plus 4, 12, unsuccessful. Fire preparation phase. The Japanese stacking up on the steeple at I-64 will attack the nearest danger, which is the American squad on the middle floor of this hex. The fire will be with 6 firepower doubled to 12, point blank shot, plus 2, wooden house, minus 1, leader. 7 plus 1, 8, 1 morale check, and the AMG loses the rate of fire. 11 plus 1, 12, the squad breaks above the ELR and becomes a squad 546 and has its morale broken. Movement phase. Crew 228 above the wire at I-67 will attempt to pass under the wire. For this to happen, one die will be rolled, and the result will correspond to the numerous movement factors needed to perform this maneuver. 1. The crew passes under the wire spending one movement factor and, from there, moves to C65 spending the rest of its movement factors. C65 to B65. Squad at Z67 removes the CX marker and moves to a 66. In this hex, it suffers an attack from the American squads in a 68 with 12 firepower plus 3, stone house. 6 plus 3, 9, normal morale check. 6, unsuccessful. Subsequent first fire with 6 firepower plus 3, stone house. 6 plus 3, 9, unsuccessful. Firing with the bazooka on the same target 2 hexes away. The basic number to hit the target is 9 plus 3, stone house. 7 plus 3, 10, unsuccessful. Firing from the heavy machine gun in a 70 on the Japanese in Y67 with 8 firepower plus 1, Coconut Grove, plus 3, Stone House, minus 1, leader. 4 plus 3, 7, 1 morale check, and the machine gun maintains the rate of fire. 11 plus 1, 12, the squad breaks above the ELR and becomes a conscript half squad. New firing with the rate of fire of the machine gun with 8 firepower plus 3. 6 plus 3, 9, pin test check. 3. The Japanese half squad passes, and there is a possibility of activating the American sniper. 2. The minor American sniper is activated. 1. 3. The target of the attack will be one of the Japanese units in the steeple at E64 to be chosen randomly. 4. 5. The choice falls to the crew that is pinned. Japanese leader from Y68 to X67 losing the concealment marker. Japanese squadron with the light machine gun at E67 moves to G67 causing the American stack in the adjacent hex at H68 to display the DAIM marker again, in a brilliant tactical maneuver. Japanese leader accompanied by the crew with the medium machine gun from E67 stops over the wire at D67. From there a die will be rolled, and the result will be used to determine the number of movement factors to be spent so that this stack can move under the wire. 3. With a total expenditure of 4 movement factors so far, the stack moves down the wire. From there go to B66. Defensive fire phase. Squad 666 accompanied by the leader 9-2 will fire on the Japanese in the steeple with 6 firepower plus 2, wooden house, -2, leader. 6. 1 morale test. 9 plus 1, 10. The Japanese leader is wounded. Japanese leaders never have their morale broken. They just get wounded, becoming a leader 8-0. After the wound, a dice roll is made to assess the severity of this wound. If the result is 5 or 6, this leader will be seriously wounded and considered dead, being eliminated from the battle. 5. The Japanese leader is seriously wounded and eliminated from the game. Four plus 1, 5. The crew goes to the 1 morale check and should then undergo the so-called leader lost moral check, in which the units accompanying a leader that is eliminated must suffer. 8. The crew is immobilized. Firing with the bazooka on the Japanese crew in the bell tower requiring a base result of 9 to hit plus 2, wooden house. 6 plus 2, 8. The bell tower is hit with 8 firepower. 8. Normal morale check. 11. The crew suffers a reduction in strength and becomes 1 to 8. Advancing in the fire phase. Firing from the Japanese squad with the light machine gun in G67 on the American stack in the adjacent hex with 4 firepower plus 2, wooden house. 3 plus 2, 5, 1 morale check, and despite the result of 1 on the colored die, the light machine gun does not maintain the rate of fire because it is an advancing phase, and there is the possibility of activating the American sniper. 10 plus 1, 11. The American leader who already found himself with broken morale is broken again and is eliminated. 7 plus 1, 8. The half squad is eliminated. 6 plus 1, 7. The first squad passes. 6 plus 1, 7. Second squad also passes. 5. The American sniper is not activated. Once the shooting is finished, we will evaluate the possibility of blazes extending, starting with the possibility of fire extension from Y65 to X65 requiring 9-2, non-contiguous structure. 9-2, 7, no progression. Progression from Z64 to a 63 requiring 7-2, non-contiguous structure. 6-2, 4, no progression. Flame progression to fire in L61 requiring 9 or more for occurrence. 8, no progression. Fire progression from H72 to G71 requiring 9-2, non-contiguous structure. 8, no progression. Rout phase. Squads with broken morale in H68 to K69. This movement seems somewhat mistaken, as it moves these American units away from the battlefront. An alternative to this route would be to move to Hex G70, where these units would be closest to friendly forces with closest proximity to leaders who could assist in restoring their morale. American squad on intermediate level from E-64 to G-63 via shell hole in F-64. Although Hex F-64 is adjacent to a known Japanese unit in E-64, this exception is allowed if the en route unit is abandoning a position in the same location. These Americans are not interdicted because they move under the protection of the shell hole that denies open ground. Advance phase. G-67 to under shell hole in F-67. Leader 10-0 from B-67 to B-65. Machine gun in B-67 to C-63. Crew from C-65 to over wire in D-65. Close combat phase. No actions. The pin markers are removed and qualifying units are given the concealment marker again, with noteworthy recovery of this marker by Japanese units within the confines of Paco Cemetery, which are protected from the line of sight of the advancing Americans. At this point we will close this episode. The Americans, who had been advancing in an overwhelming manner until then, suffered a major setback that basically broke the backbone of the American advance in the eastern sector of the advance, with the virtual elimination of the Death Star stack with the 3 medium and heavy machine guns that, together with the death of a leader 8-1, greatly reduced the offensive potential in this sector of the attack. With this, one of the victory conditions is the conquest of buildings Y-68 and E-64 with the condition that the Americans achieve twice the number of casualties than the Japanese. The Americans have so far obtained only 15 CVPs against 10 CVPs from the Japanese, when 20 CVPs would be needed to achieve victory. With the almost total loss of the stack with the greatest offensive potential, the Americans find themselves in a delicate situation at this moment. The other possibility would be to place a number greater than or equal to 3 equivalent squads within the limits of the Paco Cemetery, which will also be a difficult task, since the Japanese are concentrating their units in this location and are even rehearsing a counterattack towards the isolated unit in E-64 steeple. There are still 4 American stages left until the end of the scenario, and what seemed to be a real walk for the Americans is starting to look more like a great challenge. See you next week. Stay well. Namaste.